There's more fallout from Friday's jobs report. I'm going to talk about that at the end of the video. But first, some news from OPEC and what is more expensive because of tariffs. First up, OPEC Plus has agreed to increase production by 547,000 barrels per day. So each country under OPEC, each of 8 countries under OPEC are going to increase production by 547,000 barrels per day, starting September 1st. There might be some concerns about a supply disruption because India has been asked to stop buying Russian oil. But India and China have been buying oil from the Shadow Fleet for years. Will that stop now? We shall see. All right, from the BBC, what is more expensive here in Canada? Appliances made in the US. Don't buy them. Look, I've got a GE Signature Series stove from 1991. It's fantastic. Since then, stuff is garbage. If you want to save some money, buy the South Korean stuff. If you want something good, buy European stuff. New and used cars. Yeah, no surprise there. We all know about the car tariffs, and if new cars are more expensive, that drives up the price of used cars. The groceries. We know about the groceries. Peanut butter, canned soup, and other groceries. Make your own soup. Other groceries we know about. Peanut butter, that might suck. Housing and remodeling costs. Yeah, a lot of the stuff that goes into housing is imported from the US. And this one got cut off, but it's clothing. Yeah, clothing. I know you're wondering, isn't most clothing made in Southeast Asia and the Far East? Yeah. China, Vietnam, Bangladesh, that kind of stuff. Why are there tariffs on clothing? There isn't. Yeah, these companies are using tariff talk to increase prices. You're going to blame the tariffs and they're going to make more profit. All right, the fallout from Friday's jobs report. Dollar tumbles, traders bet on more US rate cuts after weak jobs report. You know my feelings, right? They should have started cutting the rates a while ago just to avoid problems, okay? The unemployment rate is increasing in the US. The unemployment rate is way too high here in Canada. And we're waiting to see what the US is doing. Like I said, the employment data is shit here. Now there's shit data in the US. And now it's unavoidable. They have to start cutting rates. But of course, rates aren't the source of this issue. Judges question Trump's authority to impose tariffs without Congress. This has come back now. You may recall back when this tariff fiasco began, Trump was using the trade deficit as an emergency to use an Emergency Powers Act and impose tariffs. And of course, that was deemed illegal. But then it went to appeals. And now that this employment data looks bad, well, this appeal is in question. See, at issue is the Trump administration's use of the International Economic Emergency Powers Act. Of course, there is no emergency. No emergency at all, especially against Canada. So the courts are looking into the wording, and of course the word tariff doesn't appear anywhere in the act. Now, Trump loyalists think that, the appeal will be upheld. Like, no one's going to strike it down because Trump is God. But of course, these tariffs are impacting Republican states and his supporters, and so his government support is eroding quickly. Right? His public support has eroded enormously. And now he is losing friends in the government very rapidly. The fact of the matter is this. He does not have the power to impose these tariffs on anyone. Congress has that power. That's the way it works. So I think the tariffs will get struck down, and then things will shift over to Congress to reimpose these tariffs. Will he have the support in Congress to reimpose these tariffs? We shall see. If he loses tariffs, he loses everything. Is that going to happen? We shall see. It's been bad decisions up until now. But now that they are staring down the barrel of some pretty terrible data, things might change.